You are listening to the Archaeology Podcast Network.
This is Dr. Alan Garfinkel Gold. Today we're going to talk about Coso Rock Art.
This is episode 240 for the 28th of August 2017.
I'm going to focus on two questions. First of all, what is Coso Rock Art and why is it there? Coso Rock Art has been something that I've been studying for about 40 years. It happens that in a rather small area of eastern California, that's east of the Sierra Nevadas, in the western Mojave Desert, the very southwestern corner of the Great Basin, there exists a concentration, remarkable concentration, of prehistoric rock drawings. They occur in a place called the Coso Range, which is a volcanic area just south of the Owens Valley and north of the town of Mojave, just north of the Indian Wells Valley. And essentially it's nested, ensconced, it's encircled by the China Lake Naval Weapons Center with a small piece of it out around Little Lake, which is privately owned. And the Naval Weapons Center, of course, protects the other elements of it, which is the majority of the Coso Range rock art. Coso rock art has been a subject of great interest to prehistorians and rock art aficionados for decades. And it also has been in the crosshairs of many controversies related to the understanding of rock art.
This network is supported by our listeners. You can become a supporting member by going to arcpodnet.com/members and signing up. As a supporting member, you have access to high-quality downloads of each show and a discount at our future online store, and access to show hosts on a members-only Slack team. For professional members, we'll have training shows and other special content offered throughout the year. Once again, go to arcpodnet.com/members to support the network and get some great extras and swag in the process. That's arcpodnet.com/members.
Coso rock art is exclusively, for the most part, petroglyphs, rock drawings on basalt. And these are in the canyons and tablelands of the Coso Range. The Coso Range is a rather dry area, less than 3 inches of rain. It does not have any permanent rivers or exceptional water sources. Little Lake is an exception to that. But all in all, it's a rather resource impoverished area. There's no abundance of natural resources that would attract people to that particular location. However, that being said, within the Coso Range, within about 100 square mile area, there is one of the largest concentrations of prehistoric rock drawings in the entire Western Hemisphere. Conservatively, we would say there is a minimum of 100,000 individual instances of rock art. Some would say a minimum of 200,000, and it's probably even higher than that. But I do know confidently, based on the documentation, there's no less than 100,000 individual images within this very, very small area. That concentration is greater than anywhere in the Great Basin or in California, and in fact, it's one of the highest concentrations even in the Western Hemisphere. What we have there is 10,000 years worth of prehistory compressed upon the rocks. About 50% of the images are associated with bighorn sheep. They depict the animal and the individuals and the weaponry that was used to hunt, but also the ceremonialism and religious significance of the animal. One of the central questions surrounding the Cosos is, why was it originally populated, given the characteristics it has, and why so much rock art? Those are challenging issues, and I will talk more about those in the next issue of the podcast.
That's it for this episode of ARC 365. Please share this episode on your social media sites so others can have fun and learn about archaeology too. Please consider a donation to ARC 365 by sponsoring an episode for just $35. You can find the sponsor page at www.archaeologypodcastnetwork.com/sponsor ARC 365. Thanks and have a great 2017 with the Archaeology Podcast Network. The song Storm Diggin' was written, performed, and recorded by Steve Webster. This show is produced by Chris Webster and Tristan Boyle, and was edited by Chris Webster.
This has been a presentation of the Archaeology Podcast Network. Visit us on the web for show notes and other podcasts at www.archaeologypodcastnetwork.com. Contact us at chris@archaeologypodcastnetwork.com.